What if I told you that the person you could become is already inside you? Not in some magical, wishful thinking kind of way. I mean that your current life may be hiding abilities you haven't developed, opportunities you haven't recognized, and strength you haven't tested yet. And here's the scary part. You could go through your entire life without ever discovering what you're actually capable of. Not because you weren't talented enough, not because you weren't smart enough, but because you kept waiting. Waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for the right time. But what if the right time isn't coming? What if the right time is today? Today, we're going to break down how to unlock your potential. Not someday, not when life becomes easier, but today. Here's one of the biggest traps people fall into. They believe they need confidence before they take action. But confidence doesn't usually come first. Action comes first. Think about someone learning to speak in public. They don't become confident and then step onto the stage. They step onto the stage, make mistakes, learn, practice, and eventually become confident. The same thing happens with almost everything in life. You want to start a business? You don't need to know everything. You need to learn the first thing. You want to get in shape? You don't need the perfect body. You need to take the first workout. You want to learn a new skill? You don't need to be talented. You need to begin. Your brain will constantly give you reasons to wait. I'm not ready. I need more experience. I'll start next month. I'll do it when I have more time. But here's the problem. Waiting feels safe, and safe can become comfortable, and comfortable can become a cage. You don't unlock your potential by thinking about what you could do. You unlock it by doing something you've never done before. Most people don't actually know their potential. And that's because potential isn't something you simply discover by thinking about yourself. You discover it through experience. You don't know how disciplined you can become until you have something worth being disciplined for. You don't know how resilient you are until life tests you. You don't know how creative you are until you start creating. You don't know how courageous you are until you're afraid and move forward anyway. Think about that. Your limits are often assumptions you've never tested. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not a leader. I'm not smart enough. I'm not athletic. I'm not creative. I'm not good with people. But where did those beliefs come from? Were they actually proven? Or did someone say something to you years ago and you accepted it as a fact? Your potential is often hiding behind the sentence, I can't. So start replacing it with, I haven't learned how yet. That one word changes everything. I can't closes the door. I haven't learned how yet leaves it open. Here's something most people underestimate. Your attention is one of your greatest assets. Every day, something is trying to capture it. Notifications, social media, entertainment, arguments, news, other people's opinions. And if you aren't intentional about where your attention goes, someone else will decide for you. Imagine trying to build your dream life while giving your best mental energy to things that don't move you forward. You spend an hour scrolling, another hour watching random videos, another hour comparing yourself to people online, and then you wonder why you don't have enough energy to pursue your own goals. The problem isn't always a lack of time. Sometimes it's a lack of focused attention. So try something different. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to what receives your mental energy. Ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to become? If the answer is no, reduce it. You don't have to eliminate everything. You simply need to stop allowing distractions to consume the best parts of your day, because your life follows your attention. What you repeatedly focus on becomes what you repeatedly improve. People often think transformation happens through one massive decision. Sometimes it does. But more often, your life changes through small decisions repeated consistently. One workout, one book, one healthy meal, 1 hour of focused work, one difficult conversation, one application, one page written, one skill practiced, one day of keeping a promise to yourself, then another, and another. These actions may seem insignificant, but they're doing something much bigger. They're changing your identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're telling your brain, I can trust myself. And that is powerful, because self-confidence isn't just believing you're great. It's knowing you can depend on yourself. You don't need to transform your entire life today. You need to create one win today. Then build another tomorrow. Don't focus only on the mountain. Focus on the next step, because 1,000 small steps can take you somewhere your motivation never could. Here's another potential killer: comparison. You look at someone else's success and suddenly your progress feels worthless. Someone has a better career, a bigger house, a better body, more followers, more money, a happier relationship. And you start thinking, why am I so far behind? But you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You don't know their struggles. You don't know their failures. You don't know how long they've been working. And you don't know what they're sacrificing. Most importantly, their journey isn't your journey. Your job isn't to become someone else. Your job is to become the strongest version of you. Instead of asking, am I better than them? Ask, am I better than I was 6 months ago? That's a much better competition. Yesterday's version of you is the person you need to beat, not everybody else. Now let's talk about the thing that stops more potential than almost anything else: fear of failure. People avoid taking risks because they think failure means they're not good enough. But failure doesn't always mean you're incapable. Sometimes failure simply means that approach didn't work. That's information. You tried something. You received a result. Now you know more than you knew before. The entrepreneur who launches a business and fails has learned something. The athlete who loses has learned something. The person who applies for the job and gets rejected has learned something. Failure can hurt, absolutely, but it can also teach. The real danger isn't failing. The real danger is allowing one failure to convince you that you should never try again. Because imagine if every successful person stopped at their first failure. There would be no inventions, no businesses, no great performances, no breakthroughs. So when you fail, don't immediately ask, what's wrong with me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? That question can turn a setback into a stepping stone. Now here's the most important part. You don't need to wait until tomorrow. You don't need a new year. You don't need permission. You don't need everyone to believe in you. And you don't need to have your entire life figured out. You just need to decide, I'm going to start. Start with something small. Turn off the distraction. Take the walk. Write the idea. Make the phone call. Read the chapter. Apply for the opportunity. Start the project. Have the conversation. Whatever it is, take one step. Because potential means nothing if it stays potential. A seed has potential, but it has to be planted. A muscle has potential, but it has to be trained. An idea has potential, but it has to be executed. And you have potential, but you have to act. So here's your challenge. Before this day ends, Do one thing your future self will thank you for. Not 10 things, not 50. One, because you don't need to change your entire life today. You need to prove to yourself that you are capable of changing one thing. Then tomorrow, do it again. And eventually, something incredible happens. You look back and realize the person you were waiting to become was being built by the choices you were making every single day. Your potential isn't somewhere in the future. It's in the decisions you make right now. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop comparing. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. Start where you are. Use what you have. Take the next step and discover just how far you can go. This is Explained by Leo. Don't just accept the story, understand it. And remember, your potential isn't unlocked tomorrow. It's unlocked today.